Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the Ted Show. First Monday my first show for this Monday anyway. It's been a long week and a weekend, but I'm super excited. It's the holiday week for me. I hope you guys had a beautiful, beautiful weekend and have a great holiday. But today we're here to talk with Chance Morrow. Is it Morrow or Morrow?
Morrow, like tomorrow.
Like tomorrow. Chance Morrow from CIL, which is Center for Independent Living. And we're going to talk about their Opportunity Over Obstacles fundraising campaign, which is really exciting. I had the very big privilege of hosting one of their live telethon during the pandemic, which was so much fun and so creative. And they're just a joy to work with. So welcome to the show, Chance. How you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing well. How are you?
I am doing really well. We were just talking before we went live, trying to get in the holiday spirit. Right now, it's really nice outside, so we're supposed to get some cooler weather on Christmas Day. We shall see. All right. So people love to know origin story. They want to know who Chance is and maybe a little bit about why you're involved with CIL. And then we'll take a deep dive into what CIL does and the Opportunity Over Obstacles campaign.
I kind of have an interesting origin story. I feel like everyone always says their origin story is pretty interesting, but I kind of got into the nonprofit realm, the nonprofit game pretty early on in my life. I'm 24 years old. Everyone always thinks I'm older, but I'm originally from upstate New York, Syracuse area, and then ventured off for college. Originally studying neuroscience and brain stuff, and realized some part there that math and science weren't really fun to me as much as the whole idea of brains were. So I got into the family business of communication. And so I ended up going semi-close back to home, Buffalo, New York area where I attended school, and got my bachelor's in public relations, public communications. But I'm just a huge person. I've always been into volunteering ever since middle school, high school. So I've just really always had a really tight connection and love for nonprofits. So working with kids through Big Brothers Big Sister.
Where did that come from, Chance? Where did that come from? Was that something it just came from you, or did you grow up around family?
I think it was because I was such a horrible child that as I grew up, I wanted to make up for it. And so,
and that's the most honest answer I think I've ever had anybody say when I asked that question.
Yeah, I think that has a lot to do with it. And then in part two, in high school, I was just crazy involved with, I was a part of every club and organization, literally every single club and organization. So a part of all of that was making sure I had certain hours for volunteering and all that experience. And so I took everything very near and dear to the heart and very seriously. So I was volunteering a lot in high school. And then from that, I just saw how much I could grow, how much more I could learn about the community I'm a part of and the people that live in it, and moreover, the problems that a lot of people are facing, that not many people talk about or privy to, kind of some invisible things that our communities don't really talk about, a lot of problems that many people just face. And so I think I latched on to that opportunity to learn more about just regular, normal people who are living, your next door neighbor, or just the organizations and who they're helping. And I really enjoyed that. And so that's why I've been working with nonprofits ever since. I do marketing. I've never worked for a for-profit organization.
You have a passion for it. I met you when I did the telethon.
Yes.
And that was such a great setup. You all are so creative. But I have to tell you that until Brittany came on the show the first time, I've lived in Orlando longer than you've been alive. And it is amazing to me that I did not know what the Center for Independent Living was, or really that it existed and who it served. So tell us a little bit about the organization. And y'all, this is like an amazing organization that does great work in our community and touches an entire part of our community that I don't think people think a lot about.
Yeah, so the Center for Independent Living, that's what our name is. Kind of, we're moving away from it. We're doing a sort of small rebranding to CIL Orlando. Because when people hear Center for Independent Living, they think of us more as a rehabilitation center or a place where people can live. And we kind of want to move away from just people automatically thinking that. So when we say CIL, hi, I work for CIL, hi, I'm with CIL, people then who don't know us can say, what is CIL? And then our foot's in the door, and we can kind of say, we are Center for Independent Living, but this is what we do. Not what you think we do, but what we actually do.
Yes.
And so we were founded in 1976. And our nonprofit, our goal is very simple, and our goal is to help a huge community that kind of goes invisible, kind of isn't given much light or attention to, and doesn't get a lot of services, and that's the disability community. We help people with all different types of disabilities. We help people of all different ages with disabilities, and we serve Central Florida. And it's just really important. I like to give this statistic because it kind of puts a lot of things into a good perspective, that 1 in 4 people in the United States has a disability to some degree. It could be in a disability that you can see, someone using a walker, wheelchair, cane, TMI dog, those types of things. But there are also disabilities that we're finally shedding light on, disabilities you can't see. So mental health and those types of things as well go into that 1 in 4 number. So we have a variety. We have 4 main programs and services that we offer to the community that help that wide range of people, from helping them to find a job, helping teens and young adults find careers and do some job exploration, and hopefully find and land a job where they're appreciated. This employer sees their skills, what they're good at, and hires them, and they feel needed and wanted within their community. So we do a lot of things.
When I was doing the telethon, I had the privilege of interviewing a guest. And when you say the big category, I'm so glad that you explained it, because I think people think disability, they immediately think somebody in a wheelchair or somebody, and that may be true, and that is true, but it encompasses so much more than that. And the hiring process you were talking about, if it wasn't a challenge before, I know it's certainly been a challenge during the pandemic. How have you guys shifted and been able to continue to serve the community? Because I imagine that the need has just grown.
Absolutely. The need has grown, and the need kind of always existed, but more people are really finding themselves in certain situations where they have to reach out. They're really in a really tight spot. And so normally our office in Winter Park is wide open. We do in-person stuff with case managers and the consumers that come in looking for help and programs. But obviously we're dealing with a high-risk population. We want to make sure everyone's safe, that our staff is safe. So we've really just turned mostly virtual. A lot of what we can do, which we're lucky to do, is we can do a lot of things over the phone. We can do a lot of things over video. As long as the case managers are getting in contact with people and making it safe, we can still do that work. And so that's what we've been doing. We're making sure we're still helping people. We haven't closed our doors. Maybe in person we've closed our doors, but we're still wide open to help people through our services and programs still.
So tell us about, that leads us to, what a great segue. We're going to talk about the opportunities over obstacles, or opportunity over obstacles fundraising campaign. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so we've kind of, obviously this year's been tricky, and especially for the nonprofit sector, all different types of nonprofits, we usually always have to be on our feet, think on our feet, but this year especially. So that event that you helped us with earlier in the summer, our live event, which was a gala that's usually in person, we had to really think fast and turn it into a live event. And so we're kind of doing the same thing with this end of year fundraiser. And so every year, towards the end of the year, from November all the way up to the last day of December on the 31st, we have that final push for fundraising to make sure that we can still provide services to people who have disabilities who need help. And something that I haven't mentioned that's really important to note is that, yes, we work super hard and we do a lot of things every day for people living with disabilities, but unfortunately we still have a wait list because we just don't have the capacity, and sometimes we just don't have all the funds that we need in order to build a ramp for someone or do a home modification for someone. And through these fundraising efforts, that's what our main goal is, to still be able to help the people that we're helping now, but to do a level up and start helping more people, get some people off the wait list that are waiting for these crucial services, people trapped in their houses. Something that's really important to think about too is during this pandemic, we can think of it in a negative way, but we can also think of it in a positive way that people during this time have been trapped in their houses, mainly more probably towards the beginning of the year, more than right now. But people found themselves trapped in their homes, scared, not knowing what to do, not wanting to leave their homes, and then starting to go stir crazy and all of that. And that's the reality of a lot of people with disabilities right here in Central Florida. Their homes, as nice as they are, as functional as they are, have become these people's traps because they simply can't leave their front door a lot of the times. And so that's one of the services that we provide in our Foundations to Freedom program. But that's what the main goal of this fundraiser is to be able to do more of these things, to help more people, to help more people through all 4 of our programs and services.
Can employers reach out to you too? Do you take a bank of employers? Because you mentioned that earlier. And
Absolutely.
I think that a lot of people, I know a lot of people, most people I know would hire. I think they just don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. We're always looking for opportunities to partner with organizations, local organizations, where we can potentially have a partnership and start something and hopefully have some of our program people participating in our programs find worthy, fulfilling employment with these local partners.
And then give us, you mentioned the ramps earlier. That was something that really took me by surprise when we were doing the telethon. I didn't realize that was such a cost and such a hindrance for so many of the people that you serve. Explain to the audience a little bit about that, because I think that opens up the world to them, but for so many of them, they don't have that opportunity.
Yeah, and so that's really what's important with our program. So just the fundraising efforts in itself are really important, and to be able to dwindle down that wait list and to be able to help people who have wanted help and still need help, especially during these times, and find employment for them or help them with assistance. There's other things that we do that aren't just super related to finding jobs. There are people with disabilities who need general help filing their taxes, finding places where they can live, getting them in touch with people they just don't know they have to get in touch with. And so we're really an overall, just a helpful service, an organization where our goal is to help in any way, shape, and form. All different types of people with disabilities do different things so that they can find their opportunities and they can get over those obstacles. That's kind of where the name for this fundraiser came about. So we know there's a lot of opportunities. We find these opportunities, and we hope that we are this opportunity for a lot of people. And we want to work and do what we can to get them over these obstacles, whether it be big or small, to do whatever we can.
Fantastic. All right. So I have it scrolling there, but tell people the best way for them to donate, to get involved, especially during this fundraising campaign to donate. How can they reach out to you all?
Yes, we've been doing a really great job in terms of you can find us on cilorlando.org. That's our website. But for this fundraiser specifically, we created a really nice page, a really simple page, and that can be found at opportunity, opportunity.cilorlando.org. I had to think about that. And then once you get on that page, you'll be able to make a donation and see what your donation really translates to. What does your $25, $50, $100 donation translate to in terms of what our services are? They can provide a wheelchair for someone who needs a wheelchair, or a ramp for someone who needs a ramp or a home modification. And then another really cool thing that's on that specific page are some specific stories of people that we've helped. Who have we helped? What is their story? It's really, really amazing to ask these people after they get our services, after they get a ramp, after they're provided a wheelchair or something like that. How has this helped you? How has this impacted your life? How has it made it better? How has it made you see your own opportunities over obstacles? How has it helped you get through those obstacles? So we have those stories right there as well. One of those specifically is a woman named Lily Sorrell, who we just recently interviewed, who we provided a ramp earlier last year. And I promise you, if you watch that video, you can just see through her emotions, through what she's saying, how incredibly powerful her ramp was to her when we were able to build it last year.
The things we take for granted. The things we take for granted are just what we just don't realize how important and life-changing they are for someone in that position. And people don't just think about money. This is obviously a fundraising campaign, but they also need resources. And if you have somebody in the construction arena or somebody who's an employer or somebody, anything like that, CIL Orlando can benefit from it. But this specifically, year end, we are pushing on a fundraising campaign. So go to opportunity.cilorlando.org. Chance Morrow, you are awesome. Thank you so much. Give Brittany my best. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas to you guys. Get involved, everyone. This community goes underserved, and CIL Orlando does such an amazing job of helping them and getting them some of that freedom and independence that they so need and so desire, and it's life-changing. I've seen it firsthand. So appreciate all you all do. Thank you so much. Opportunity.cilorlando.org. Thank you, Chance, so much for being on the show. All right, guys, we'll see you soon. Bye, everyone.